Hello everyone, this is Minu at AngloLink. Welcome to lesson 1 in my series, which I've called EASY, and that stands for Easy to Zap English Errors. As the title suggests, this series is about making you familiar with common mistakes that are easy to make, but also easy to zap or eliminate. Before we start, I just want to say that, for me, if you want to improve your English easily, your first goal should be to become more confident about your English. If you set yourself the goal of speaking English perfectly, or speaking English like a native speaker, too soon, you may create too much stress for yourself and actually block your own progress. English is a rich and complex language, and it is even difficult for a native speaker to master it fully. So please give yourself time and be kind to yourself when you make mistakes. So what I want to do in this series is to show you that the mistakes you may be making come from the complexity of the English language, and also show you how to correct them yourself. This ability to detect and correct your own mistakes is essential for building up your confidence, which then enables you to improve your English more easily and rapidly. Okay, for this first lesson, I've chosen something very basic, but a mistake that many of us make. We have learned that if a word starts with a vowel letter, that is A, E, I, O, or U, we must use the indefinite article an instead of a, and that a only goes before consonants. Well, that's not the whole story. Let's look at this in more detail and then do some exercises to get rid of any potential mistakes related to this. Easy to Zap English Errors, Lesson 1. A unit or an unit? Right, let's start with reminding ourselves of the a-an rule. I'm sure you know that if your word begins with a vowel, A, E, I, O, or U, then you must use an instead of a. So we have a book, but an apple. A car, but an egg. A fire, but an island. But there is one important detail to add here. The vowel letter must produce a vowel sound. The good news is that the letters A, E, and I always produce a vowel sound, but you have to be careful with the letters O and U. Okay, let's have a look at when O and U don't produce a vowel sound. Let's start with O. Think of the word one. Which other word sounds like one? That's right, won, the past tense of win. The sound W is usually spelt with the letter W, and it is not a vowel sound. It is what we call a semi-vowel sound, and before a semi-vowel we use a, not an. So if we look at the phrase old chair, here the letter O has a vowel sound, O, therefore it's an old chair. But if you look at the phrase $1 bill, the letter O here has the sound W, the semi-vowel W. Therefore, we have to say a $1 bill. Now, I can't think of any words other than one that start with an O that sounds like W. But if you find any more like this, the same rule applies. Now, let's have a look at the letter U. Think of the word unit. The sound that we hear at the start of this word is the sound Y, usually spelled with the letter Y. This sound is the other semivowel. There are only two semivowels, W and Y. And we must use A before Y as well. So if we have the word umbrella, here the letter U has a vowel sound, A, and therefore it's an umbrella. But when we have the word unit, the letter U here starts with the sound Y, and therefore we need to say a unit. Now, there are many words starting with U where the first sound is Y. Union, U-turn, unique, etc. So, if you're unsure how the U is pronounced, check it in an online dictionary. Okay, now let's have a look if a consonant can produce a vowel sound. The answer is yes, some consonants can, but only when they stand alone as a single letter. Think of how you pronounce these letters of the alphabet. F, H, L, M, N, R, S, X. As you can hear, when spoken as a single letter, they start with a vowel sound. That's why we say a TV, but an HD television. A CD player, but an X-ray. Right. One last thing, and that is the letter H. You also have to be careful with this letter, which can sometimes be silent. If the H is pronounced, then use A. A home. A hammer. If it's silent, then use an. An hour. An honest man. Let me also mention the word herb. In British English, the H is pronounced, but in American English, it's silent. So in British English, we say a herb, and in American English, they say an herb. Okay, let's have a quick summary before we do some exercises. So first of all, use A before the letter O when it sounds like the semi-vowel W, a $1 bill. Secondly, use A before the letter U when it sounds like the semi-vowel Y, a unit. Thirdly, use an before consonant letters F, H, L, M, N, R, S, and X when they are pronounced on their own. For example, an X-ray. And finally, use A before H, except when it's silent. A home, but an hour. Okay, it's time for some exercises. I'd like you to read each word or phrase out loud and decide if you should use A or an. For example, here's the first one. The H in hair is pronounced and therefore it's a hairpin. Okay, your turn. Number 1. Letter F starting with the sound E, an FM radio. Number 2. The H in horror is pronounced and therefore it's a horror movie. Number 3. The H in honor is silent and therefore the first sound is a vowel sound. An honor. Number 4. The letter U is pronounced as united and therefore it's a united team. Number 5. Letter H on its own, starting with the sound E, an HR policy. Number 6. The H in hotel is pronounced and therefore it's a hotel. Number 7. U.S. citizen and therefore it's a U.S. citizen. Number 8. The letter H in this word is silent, and therefore we start with a vowel sound, ane. Number 9. Here's the word one again, and therefore it's a one-way street. And finally, letter M starting with the sound e, and therefore it's an MA degree. Okay, that's all for lesson 1. I hope it's been helpful to you. If this point was new to you, please make sure you do the exercises several times until you have built a quick reflex in choosing a or an. If you have enjoyed this lesson and would like to be notified when my next easy lesson is available, please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you very much for watching this lesson. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in my next lesson. Happy studies to you all, and goodbye for now.